part one of a three-part poem.
Nice.
It's called The Endless Pursuit of Happiness, Part 1. I went to the candy machine in the break room just a moment ago, and there it was, amongst the plastic packages of cookies and chips and gum and Pop-Tarts for only 65 cents. True love. Nestled at E4 between the Reese's peanut butter cups on the left and the Hershey's chocolate with almonds on the right. Imagine, the thing I've been searching for my whole life, and there it is, in bright yellow plastic wrap in the candy machine at work, and for only 65 cents. I know I've spent way more than that looking for it up to this point, so 65 cents was one hell of a bargain. I reached into my pocket and found that I had exactly 65 cents. Yes. 2 quarters, a dime, and 5 pennies. Oh! Since the machine only took silver, I was out of luck. A nickel short. Blast. I went to the receptionist and asked if I could borrow a nickel. Even offered to give her the 5 pennies for the nickel, but she didn't have it. She had no change. I went to all the people who worked there in my cubicle and asked if they could trade my 5 pennies for a nickel, and none of them, not a single one, could do it. They had no change. I finally dug around in the very bottom of my backpack and found 1 dirty dime. More than enough to make my 65 cents, so I marched to the break room with change in hand, only to find that the true love in E4 was gone! There had been only one left, and someone must have gotten it as I was looking for the money to pay for it. I looked at the machine, I looked at the money in my hand, I looked back up at the machine, then I put my 70 cents into the machine and pressed E5. Hershey's chocolate with almonds. Got a nickel back for change. This is part 2 from a 3-part poem. It's called The Endless Pursuit of Happiness, Part 2. After work, I walked to my bus stop. On the way, I passed the brightly lit windows of a gift shop, and right there in front of the biggest display was a box that, okay, hold on. After work, I walked to my bus stop. On the way, I passed the brightly lit This is part 2 of a 3-part poem. It's called The Endless Pursuit of Happiness. You see why the endless is there. The Endless Pursuit of Happiness, Part 2. After work, I walked to my bus stop. On the way, I passed the brightly lit windows of a gift shop, and right there, in front of the biggest display, was a box marked Deluxe True Love. There was a photo on the box of a man and a woman staring deeply into each other's eyes and smiling slow, dreamy smiles. The flashing sign next to the box said, only $29.99, going fast. I walked in and went to the front counter and asked the cashier what about this brand of true love made it deluxe. He said that this particular true love was especially long-lasting, yet it encouraged individuality, which many other cheaper brands of love often neglect. I took out my wallet and told him that I would take one, but the cashier said that he was all out because of the Christmas rush. He said he would put me on the rain check list, but he cautioned that the wait would be several months, if not longer. I asked if he could sell me the one in the window, but he said it was an empty box. I asked if he had any more in the back, and he said he didn't think so, but he would look just in case. When he came back out, he held a much smaller box that was wrapped in bright paper with neon ink and colorful photos of people smiling very large white smiles and beaming while they were driving sports cars and talking on cell phones and playing computer games and watching big screen TVs. I asked him if that was it. Was that deluxe true love? But he shook his head slowly and said, no, we're all out of deluxe true love. But we do have several boxes left of instant gratification for only $9.99. I told him I already had enough of that, and I thanked him for his time.
Come on, don't get lazy now.
This is part 3 of a 3-part poem. It's called The Endless Pursuit of Happiness, Part 3. When I got home, I turned on the TV and flipped around the cable channels and stopped for a moment on one of those home shopping channels. And there on the screen was a big, colorful box of Deluxe True Love. Only this was a special version of Deluxe True Love they called the Limited Edition Deluxe True Love. The salesman said these versions were handcrafted in very small batches by experts in the art of making love. And that his company was allowed to sell only 100 boxes. And time was running short, he said, since 67 had already been sold in the last 5 minutes. The price, he said, was 3 low monthly payments of $59.99 each. What made this version of Deluxe True Love so special, he said, was its easy application, its long-lasting strength, and its durability. It wasn't like those shabby versions of love you could buy for less elsewhere, he said, that were fine for the first few months or even years, but then began to fade. This version of Deluxe True Love was specially made to last the lifetime of its owner. In fact, it came with a guarantee. 14 more boxes of limited edition Deluxe True Love were sold as I watched it. So I grabbed up my phone and called the 1-800 number and was greeted by a friendly receptionist named Molly. She asked me what product I was interested in, and I said I wanted a box of limited edition Deluxe True Love. She asked me what credit card I used, and I said I didn't have a credit card. She asked me if I wanted to use a check card, and I said I didn't have a check card either. She said she could only accept one or the other, but I asked her if I could just arrange to send cash. She put me on hold, and I watched as 5 more boxes were sold, and 7 more boxes were sold. Then 6 more boxes were sold, and the announcer on the TV said, and we only have 1 more box of special edition Deluxe True Love left, and our lucky next caller will have the first crack at it. And then the receptionist came back on the line, and I said, I'll take it. Please, I'll take that last box of special edition Deluxe True Love, please, for the love of God. And she replied, I'm sorry, sir. We can only accept credit cards or check cards with the Visa logo. We do not accept cash. I'm sorry, sir. Then she hung up, and the TV screen was filled with the face of the salesman as he announced that a lady from Americus, Georgia was the proud owner of the last box of limited edition Deluxe True Love. I turned off the television. I reached into my pocket and pulled out my Hershey's chocolate bar with almonds and proceeded to unwrap it.